Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, share and comment. Today I'm here to elaborate on human kidney. A human kidney, it is found on the posterior of abdominal walls. This means it is found at the back. So when surgery is being done, kidney is extracted from the back. So it's located below the diaphragm. Diaphragm, it is part of the respiratory system. So as you can see here, I have a respiratory system which is the trachea, the bronchus and the lungs. Here is the diaphragm. So kidney, it is just found below the diaphragm. The kidney is found below the diaphragm, and a healthy human being has a pair of kidneys, which is two kidneys, and that the kidneys of the mature kidneys are always 11 centimeter. They have a height of 11 centimeter, and they are 6 centimeter long, and the thickness is 3 centimeter. So the main function of the kidney is to eliminate waste product from the blood. And this waste product can be urea or uric acid, which is excreted from the blood, and it forms urine. So as you can see here, we have the structure of the urinary system, which is the kidney here, a pair of kidneys. This is the left kidney and the right kidney. We have the ureter. After the collection of waste product from the blood, it is taken to the bladder. This bladder is used in the storage of that waste product, which is urine. So it stores urine for some time from the kidneys. So it passes through the ureter. Then from ureter, it is taken out through the urethra by the it is taken out through the urethra. So here we have the sphincter muscles. The sphincter muscles, its function is to open and close the opening of the bladder. So as you can see, a kidney is a bean shaped. Today I have a sample here of two beans. So kidney is bean shaped. As you can see, it is in the shape of these beans here. So it looks exactly like the beans. And that kidney, it is made up of three parts, which is the cortex. The cortex is the outer side of the kidney. Then the medulla, it is the middle part of the kidney. As you can see, medulla means medium. So medulla is the middle part of the kidney, and the pelvis is the outer part of the kidney. So the pelvis connects itself to the ureter. So as you can see, a kidney has over a million nephrons. One kidney can have more than a million nephrons. So the function of nephrons, it is the to clear the waste from the blood. So it filters the blood to clear away the waste from it. So the kidney is supplied with blood from the heart through the renal artery. So the renal artery is the one that distributes blood to the kidney. So here, as you can see, the blood from the heart, let me draw heart here, heart. So blood from the heart passes through the artery as it goes to the renal artery. One of its is renal artery here, renal artery to the kidney, Then in the kidney, it gets in and it is divided into renal arterioles, which is the renal arterioles. So the blood flows from the renal artery to the renal arterioles. These renal arterioles, they flow blood in the nephron. So the renal arterioles and the capillaries are found in the nephrons. So today we are going to discuss about the nephron. So nephron is found in the kidney, and the function of the nephron, it is to clear away the waste product from the blood. So as you can see, I've told you the blood from the heart, it is pumped to the kidney. through the renal artery. Then as you can see here, it is a renal artery, that one from the blood. Then this part here, it is the renal arteriole. Then from here, it passes through the glomerulus. This part is called the glomerulus. Then there's this, the blood capillaries here. The blood capillaries, as you can see here, the red one is oxygenated and the other one is deoxygenated. So from here, the blood capillaries, then we have here the branch of renal vein. This one is a vein and this one is a artery. So that one is a vein and an artery. This one is a blood capillary. Then you can see here we have the glomerular capsule or the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule. So it is the Bowman's capsule. Then there is a proximal convoluted tubule. We'll tell you why is it coiled. Then we have here the loop of Henle. So there's a descending loop of Henle and there's ascending loop of Henle and there's diastole convoluted tubule. We shall discuss why it has meanders and why it's a little bit curved. Then here we have the collecting duct. So as you can see, the kidney here the kidney, this part of the kidney, the upper part here, it is found inside the cortex. Then this, the middle part, it has this one, the loop of Henle and the other parts here. Then as you can see, one kidney can have a lot of collecting ducts. So these collecting ducts, they carry the waste product to the ureter. So here, the nephron, let us discuss the nephron from step to step. So in the nephron, there are three things that take place in the nephron. One is simple filtration, the another one is selective reabsorption, and the last one is secretion. So you say the first one is simple filtration. Then the second one is selective reabsorption. Then the last one is excretion. As you can see, let us start from the first one. So the blood from the renal artery gets into the nephron through the afferent arteriole. Then from the afferent arteriole, there are capillaries here, and there's a afferent arteriole. So the afferent arteriole has a larger diameter than the efferent arteriole. So as the blood gets inside through here from the renal artery, there is a lot of pressure because it is being pumped from the heart. So this pressure here, it is blocked by the afferent arteriole, because this afferent arteriole, as you can see, let me try to elaborate it. This one is afferent arteriole, afferent. Then this one is efferent, which has a smaller diameter here, efferent arteriole. So as you can see here, when there is blood moving to this direction, there will be some blockage here, and it will reach it. There will be some blockage, but here there will be some blood that will pass through. So it means this blood at this point has a slightly higher pressure, which will cause the ultrafiltration. So ultrafiltration, it is caused by hydrostatic pressure of the blood, because here in the glomerulus there is a lot of pressure. So in this one, when filtration takes place, there are some things that will move. There are some things that will move from the blood to the Bowman's capsule here, to the glomeruli, and this is mineral salts. The ones that are permeable here, they are mineral salts, amino acids, keto acids, glucose, hormones, creatinine, urea, uric acid, toxins, and some drugs. These substances that pass through here, they are very small substances, so they pass through the membrane and is through ultrafiltration. And the ones that cannot pass through here, that will remain on the blood and continue flowing, is blood plasma and the plasma contents of blood and the blood cells. These include the leukocytes, the lymphocytes, and the other types of the blood plasma. That one will pass through. So here we have the mineral acids, mineral salts, amino, keto acids, glucose, hormones, creatinine, urea, uric acid, toxins, and some drugs. So here, that one will pass through here. Will pass through here. So that is the first thing that I've tried to explain. We are done with the ultrafiltration. So we are getting on the second step, which is reabsorption, selective reabsorption. What do we mean when we say selective reabsorption? It doesn't mean that reabsorption just takes place in everything. It means they select. There's a selective in reabsorption. Not everything is being reabsorbed back. And this selective reabsorption, it is caused by the hormones that are produced by the body. So here, when the ultrafiltration takes place, there is the losing of the materials to the ear Bowman's capsule. So after that, the body responds by reabsorbing back the most important things. So the first substances that will be absorbed here, it is the glucose and amino acids. Those ones that are completely reabsorbed. So when a person is tested on urine and they find there is glucose and amino acids, it means there is a problem with their Bowman's capsule. There's a problem with the Bowman's capsule, or there's a problem with the reabsorption of the glucose and the amino acids. So there are hormones inside here that will help in the selective reabsorption. This one will help just to reabsorb and to balance the body's mineral salts and the pH. So the first hormone that will help in the reabsorption, it is the parathyroid hormone. Here we have the parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid hormone and parathyroid hormone and calcitonin hormone. So here, these two hormones regulate the amount of calcium. They are both from parathyroid gland. This parathyroid gland is found below the tongue. So here, these two will regulate the amount of reabsorption of calcium. When there is a lot of calcium in the body and calcitonin is produced, it means that it will regulate the reabsorption of calcium. The calcium level will go down. No reabsorption of calcium will take place. But when there is less calcium in the body, parathyroid hormone is being produced, and this hormone will enhance the reabsorption of calcium. So the second one is the ADH, antidiuretic hormone. So this antidiuretic hormone, it is from the posterior of pituitary gland and increases the permeability of water. So by this one, we mean that pituitary gland when there is, when there is less water in the body is experiencing some kind of shortage of water. So so here ADH will be triggered to produce. The body will trigger its pituitary gland to produce more ADH. So this more ADH will make here the convoluted tubules, the loop of Henle, to be more permeable to water. So here it will be more permeable to water and will absorb more water back to the blood. So ADH will increase the permeability. So that permeability will increase the reabsorption of water. And the last one, it is aldosterone hormone. So aldosterone hormone, it is from the adrenal cortex. As you can see here on our diagram, we have the adrenal gland. This adrenal gland, it has the adrenal cortex. So adrenal cortex produces aldosterone. So aldosterone here is the one that will increase the reabsorption of sodium and also the excretion of potassium. So as you can see, that one was mostly for reabsorption. Let me try to elaborate more on it here. As you can see, when there is a low renal blood flow, there is a low volume of blood, low pressure of blood, and there is a low blood sodium. So the kidneys will secrete renin. So as you can see here, the blood volume is low, the blood pressure is low, and the sodium is also at low. So the kidneys will secrete renin. So renin will activate the angiotensinogen to angiotensin. You see here, angiotensinogen is not active, so angiotensin will be activated. So this angiotensin is more active. So angiotensin will be converted to angiotensin 2 by the ACE. So this angiotensin 2 will cause vasoconstriction. So as you can see here, we have said the blood pressure is low. So vasoconstriction, by stating vasoconstriction, we mean the constriction of the blood vessels. So here it is constriction of the blood vessels. So what will happen when the blood vessels constrict? Blood vessels, when they constrict, they bring about high blood pressure. You know, when you have a hose pipe that has a larger diameter and a hose pipe that has a lower diameter, the hose pipe with a larger diameter will have a low pressure of water, but the one with a smaller diameter will have more pressure. So here, by vasoconstriction, we mean that there is a lower diameter than the normal diameter. So when there is lower diameter, that one means will automatically increase the pressure of the blood. So here the blood pressure will increase. So when blood pressure increases, it means there's a change there. So when there's high blood pressure in the potassium, adrenal cortex secrete aldosterone. So this one is the aldosterone hormone. So in the kidney tubules, the absorption of sodium and water. So there will be reabsorption of sodium and water. So excretion of potassium. You know, sodium and potassium will never meet. Sodium and potassium will never meet. So when there's an increase in reabsorption of sodium and water, there will be increase in excretion of potassium. So sodium will be reabsorbed, but potassium will be excreted. So when this sodium, you know, when the ICF of the human being, they have sodium and water. So here, reabsorption of sodium and water, it means there is volume of water getting into the blood. I hope you understand it. There's volume of water getting into the blood. So when there's a reabsorption of sodium and water, it means that there's an increase in volume. So that one is a negative feedback for this one, increase in volume. And there's excretion of potassium. So blood sodium levels will increase because there's reabsorption of sodium back to the blood, but there is excretion of potassium. So this one, sodium levels will increase. That is inhibition of the adrenal cortex. And the blood volume, because we have water here in the blood volume, it means that the blood volume will be increased here. So sodium levels they have increased, and the blood pressure by vasoconstriction here, it increased, and the sodium levels and water here, the absorption of sodium back to the blood, it means there is increase in sodium in the blood. And the last one is the blood pressure. Blood pressure, when there's a drug that is used for diabetes, that they're called antidiuretics. Antidiuretics, their main function is to decrease the amount of water in the blood. So by decreasing amount of water in the blood, it means that there will be low volume of the water in the blood, or low volume in the vessels, which means when there's low volume, there's decrease in pressure, and when there's high volume, there's increase in pressure. So here, by stating reabsorption of sodium and water, we are increasing the pressure by increasing the volume. So when you increase volume here, it means you are increasing the pressure. So here the blood pressure will get higher because of its volume. But by that one, we mean that we have corrected this one. So that one is a negative feedback for the blood volume, the pressure, and the sodium. So the key words here, it is the secretion of aldosterone here aldosterone hormone. So this aldosterone hormone, it increases the reabsorption of sodium and water. So this water increases the volume, and the excretion of potassium from the loop of Henle. And that by doing that one, increase in volume increases the blood pressure, but decrease in volume decreases the blood pressure. So hypervolumia increases blood pressure, is directly proportion. So here, increase in blood pressure here, it increase in volume increases the blood pressure. So here there will be blood pressure increase. So by that one, there will be correction of that one. Yes, and as you can see, we are on the osmotic pressure. So here, when the blood osmotic pressure is raised, osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus. So here, hypothalamus is found on the brain. The osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus stimulate the pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland increase secretion of ADH. Here, the pituitary gland from the posterior pituitary gland increase the secretion of ADH hormone. So here, there are two things that take place in the brain first. Osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus. When the blood osmotic pressure is raised, when the blood osmotic pressure is raised, these osmoreceptors are the one to sense that there is a problem somewhere. So osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus will stimulate the pituitary gland. These osmoreceptors will stimulate here. It means it will activate the pituitary gland to release the ADH. So here, the pituitary gland releases the ADH, but it is stimulated by the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is like hypothalamus is telling pituitary gland to release the ADH. So here there is increased reabsorption of water by the kidney. So this ADH, when it gets into the loop of Henle, it creates it brings about the permeability. Permeability is it allows the reabsorption of water. So by doing that, it means that the concentration of water in the urine will be less. This tells us why the desert animals have a higher concentrated urine than the animals living in a place where there is plenty of water, because with that animal that is living on desert, it will try to conserve its water by secreting a lot of ADH. So this ADH hormone will be secreted more, so that the water that is at the loop of Henle can be conserved back. So you'll find that urine from the desert animal, it is more concentrated than the urine from the animal from the normal environment. So by that, we mean that in the normal environment, the animal has a lot of water in the body. So when the animal has a lot of water, osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus will not activate the stimulation of ADH. So by not activating the stimulation of ADH, so it means that the absorption of water by the kidney will not take place. So if the reabsorption does not take place, then it means that that water will get out through urine. So here the water will be diluted. So the concentration of water will be low. So the blood osmotic pressure is lowered. So when there is a reabsorption, the blood osmotic pressure is lowered. So as you can see, I've tried to explain the excretion. I've tried to explain the glomerular filtration, which I said ultrafiltration takes place here. Then I've really explained and elaborated what takes place here. It is reabsorption. And I've really mentioned three hormones. That one was aldosterone, and the aldosterone, the ADH, and also the parathyroid hormone and calcitonin. So we say parathyroid hormone and calcitonin regulate the absorption of calcium and phosphate. So calcitonin regulates, it inhibits the calcium. Parathyroid hormone, it inhibits the phosphate reabsorption. And the diuretic hormone produces the ADH. So that ADH increases the permeability of water. And the last one was aldosterone. Aldosterone, we are saying it increases the reabsorption of sodium. So that reabsorption of sodium and water, it takes place here. So it reabsorption of water and excretion of potassium. So that one was for aldosterone here. So as you can see here, we have really discussed the things that takes place. We have said that one, number one was glomerular filtration. Number two was the reabsorption, selective reabsorption, and number three was excretion. So the last bit of excretion takes place here. So as you can see here, excretion, these branches here, they are for other nephrons. So here excretion, it is the removal of the waste product, and mostly the waste product of urine contains the urea and uric acid, and some other materials such as that sodium and the potassium and other mineral salts. So as I tried to say earlier, that I will explain to you why these things are these converted the diastole converted tubules are a little bit curved, is because here it slows the movement of the materials, and this slowing of the movement of materials increases the reabsorption. So that one slows the movement of material, and here the Bowman's capsule here at the membrane, it is a simple one layer epithelial tissue. This simple one layer epithelial tissue is to enhance the ultrafiltration, to enhance that filtration to take place. So what you need here is to grasp the diagram, grasp the working, how it takes place, and grasp the names of the parts here. And the last bit here, it is for you to understand this one, the negative feedback. By that negative feedback, we mean the body responds, it responds opposite to what is taking place. But positive feedback, it is when the body responds, it responds more positive to what is taking place. Let me say, like when you are running somewhere and someone chases you and tries to give you the psych to continue running, that is a positive feedback. But a negative feedback is when you are trying to run and maybe the person is pulling you back. So that one is a negative feedback. As you can see here, we said the blood volume is low and the body tries to return back its blood volume to be higher. So that is a negative feedback. So most of the organs here and most of the hormones in the body, they respond to the negative feedback to make sure that the body, it comes back to the normal state in case of any changes. So that's what I could teach for today. Thank you. So if you have any questions, you can write on the comment sections and let me know so that I can answer you on the next video, on the next